Sam Roberts, on a Friday afternoon, I've managed to sneak in, unseen, into Mike Rare's office. Mike, good afternoon to you. The season in front of us, the pre-season behind us, how are you feeling?
Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. Always enjoy the Friday before a weekend game. But a little bit apprehensive as well, you know, and not nervous, but you know, it's the unknown, I suppose. When league points are at stake, it's a totally different kettle of fish to pre-season, and we got a tough side coming to town. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Plymouth bring. I think we're prepared as well as we can for this, given the stage of the season it's at, the start. But yeah, we had some good sessions this week, and you know, we're confident we can put in a performance tomorrow.
We've had a fair bit of excitement, some new faces, a lot of buzz about the club, as there always is pre-season, and yet with Plymouth Albion coming to town, it kind of feels like business as usual. It should be a really intriguing tussle tomorrow.
I don't think there's any secret between the both sides' styles. You know, we've played Plymouth regularly over the last 7-8 seasons, and I think the interesting bit for me is probably 6-7 seasons ago, when Plymouth were producing Lee Robinson and Dan Ward-Smith, our Scott brothers, etc. She was very firmly on the other foot, and you know, we didn't often have a great record against Plymouth. Now, completely reverse, and the expectations of people of us in winning tomorrow is has changed. Now, that's a lot to do with what we've achieved here in the last few years. A lot down to the players. We've been able to recruit, and you know, their attitude to playing sides like Plymouth. Notwithstanding that, it's always a tough nut to crack, and I've never come across a poor Plymouth side. You know, we may have had some decent scorelines against them recently, but we've always either blown them away when they've had somebody in a sin bin in a 10-minute period, or at the back end of a game. Certainly that happened last year in the early league game. But we can't look too far past the fact that they came here last year in the league and beat us. So you know, it's obviously close games. Graham Dorr, got a lot of admiration for him. He always prepares his sides well, and you know, they'll get every ounce out of him. And I guess going back to the expectation bit, if you like, we can't just expect to rock up and get a performance. You know, every single game we front up in this year, even if things are not going our way. We've spoken a lot about honesty this year, and a lot about intensity and relentlessness, and I think if there's anything we've taken away from the Saracens game, is there was no let up with them. Even if things were going wrong, you can put that right by being strong defensively and strong in the contact area. And sometimes passes don't go to hand, so you get skill error. Understand that, and it might be a bit of that tomorrow. But the fact remains, we have to be really intense about our work, and that's what I'm looking forward to see how the boys take it on the pitch tomorrow.
There have been one or two moments of a sparkling sort of debut rugby in the friendlies. There's been a few people who I know have impressed you, but tomorrow's team, tomorrow's 15-22, has an assured look of 2009-2010 about it. Was there a part of your mind that said they've got the jerseys because they put some good performances in last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's all subjective, isn't it? I mean, it's my job to be objective and pick the best 22 to take the field. Look, I'm a man. I've always said since I've taken this job, I want consistency, and I'd be foolish if I didn't sign 22 players at the back end of the last season. It meant I was more than happy with them. And in some cases, you know, Greg Iglander's had an injury over pre-season. He's overcome it recently, but he's a little bit behind the 8 ball. Similarly, Will Chudley, you know, he hasn't been, and he's honest enough to hold his hand up to some of his form in some of the pre-season games. Darrell's taken his chance. You know, there's others. You know, we rested Duncan. Really, I mean, he had a virus, but it was nothing serious. We called it a virus because we dressed it up a bit, I suppose. But you know, he wasn't feeling well, and he's overcome that. And let's face it, he was our standout player last year. So you know, I've got a responsibility to the lads who re-signed with us, and I know what their abilities are, and I got confidence in them to deliver tomorrow. But at the same time, you know, Lawrence Evans is a great acquisition for us. We've only got one loose head as it stands, so it was natural that we picked him. And Jackson Ray, I think, has been one of the standout players in pre-season. So you know, Chris Goodman's carrying around a bit of concussion at the moment, so obviously he wasn't available for selection. And no doubt, guys like Andre Schmidt has done pretty much everything he can. He's just unfortunate. Ed Thrower showed us glimpses of what he could do as a pure fullback. Now, Ed only played half a game and a bit part in the others, so we haven't seen the whole picture. We struggled this week to get his registration through. It is through now. That was in the back of our minds. If it hadn't come through, we wanted to get the team sort of settled early. So there are things that are in the background that people perhaps don't know.
This is a long season, and you've got a good squad that you're looking to pick or call upon every single one of those players.
Absolutely. Only speaking to Pritch the other day and just about selection and a general chat, and players don't want to hear it's a long season. There's plenty of rugby. Players don't want. I never want to hear that myself, but you kind of say it through embarrassed expressions, if you like. But the bottom line is, in conversation with Pritch, he missed a whole month of November last year and the back end, pretty much the last month of the season, and he still played 24 games last year. Which is a good number. If you're producing quality performances, if I got 24 good performances out of the players this year, we'll be in a good position. So yeah, there's an element of that. It's just I understand what players go through. I've been there myself, and at this time of year, you want to be playing, you want to be out there. It's the start of the rugby season, and you want to be getting your hands and feet dirty, and that remains. And I said to the lads, I can only fit 22 in. There was people who were disappointed, and I'm happy they're disappointed, because if they weren't disappointed, they shouldn't be here. But that's a nice headache to have. I think we've come a long way, and in a short couple of years, actually, the first few years, we were sort of building, if you like, and we had good players here, no doubt. But now we're attracting even better players, and more so getting a very good 22 out week in, week out. So the strength of the squad and the club is benefiting from that. And in the past, I've been picking from 23, 24 fit players. All of a sudden I'm picking from 30 plus now. So that's great moving forward. There may come a time when through the season when we might be down to that 22, 23 we're picking from. So I'm happy to have them headaches. Look, at the end of the day, my neck's on the block. If we lose tomorrow, I fully expect to pick up the criticism, if you like. That's the nature of the job. I'm not afraid of that. It's my job to pick the 2022, and I can't get 30 players into 22.